Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about pricing for our SEO service. So you learn how we price this out. It's not like I'm just pulling numbers out of the air. So there's a science to it. So let's go ahead and go over this. All right, so pricing for our SEO service. All right, so we're going to cover 4 points. The first one's going to be services plus location. Second one's going to be page optimization. Third is backlinks. Fourth one is going to be like overall difficulty. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with our first one. Because we focus on local SEO, a lot of the times our clients want to show up in a certain city, and that's where we get the service plus location. Like for example, let me go ahead and show you this because this is kind of what the type of clients we usually work with have a service and area or an area, general area they want to show up in, like our example here. So this is for kitchen remodeler San Jose. As you can see, the top results are ads, and we have our local map pack. That's something that could be optimized, right? A lot of times this is based on, reviews is a big factor, but there's other factors as well. I won't go too much into that because this is about pricing, right? So we look at this, okay, 64 reviews, 22 reviews, 68 reviews. So there's a lot of the categories: general contractor, remodeler, kitchen remodeler. So there's going to be a lot of those in the area. All right, so we're going to go down here. This is our websites. This is one area we could also show up organically with SEO. So we have two. One is here, the businesses, and the other is websites. Okay, so when we talk about this of service plus location, we're talking about this query or this search: kitchen remodeler San Jose, in San Jose, or a variation of that in San Jose, California, for example. All right, so yeah, so this is what we're talking about. So first thing is our service plus location. We're looking at the result. We could see that there's a lot of competition. We could just tell by all the ads that we have 4 ads in this location, and we're gonna do something right now. Well, once we have that, then we're gonna go ahead and say, okay, you want to show up in San Jose for kitchen remodeling, so we also have to do page optimization. So that means we would go down the list of these top search results and figure out how many H1s, how many words they're using, these different things within the text. Within the page that are usually text, images, that kind of thing. And then we'll come up with how many of these things we need for our page based on the results, right? So that's the first part. So if you think about that, let's say for pages we're doing service plus location, right? So let's say business wants to show up in 10 different 10 different locations for, let's say, kitchen remodeling. So that means even if we charge, let's say, $50 per page that we're going to build out and optimize based on all the top 10 results, so we do that, that's $500 right there, just doing that. So if they have multiple services, multiple locations, it could get pretty expensive. So that's how part of the way we price it out: service plus location. We're gonna go back here. We talked a little bit about page optimization. That's what we got to do for every single one of these services plus location pages. Third thing is backlinks. So let me just turn on this tool here. This is called SEO Quake. It's basically, I believe you could get it for free, but when you run this, it's basically going to tell you kind of a little bit of an insight of the page that's showing up. So we're still in kitchen remodeler San Jose. So we see here that Yelp AS is like authority score. So this would be 100 because it's a huge website, right? Very well known, a lot of traffic. So here we see this links. So what is the other thing that attributes to the pricing of a service? For the SEO service, it's links. How many backlinks do you have to that page? Okay. So when we talk about that, what are backlinks? Backlinks could be, let's go back here. All right, so we talk about this. I guess it won't let me click. Okay, so what are backlinks? Backlinks are PR, press releases, guest post, niche edits. Even if you get a link from, let's say, Reddit or Quora or one of these other websites, it could be like a comment, right? That could still count. I mean, they're not as popular, but the most popular ones are guest posts. So when you're buying a guest post, it's an article. You're paying somebody to post your article on their website. So when it comes to this, if you see links, 42 links. So that's the top result. Okay, let's keep going. 130 links. Wow. Okay, let's look at this one. 11,000 links, right? We don't know if they're good quality, bad quality. So we would have to go in depth to see what types of links they have and then determine how many do we need to buy. Obviously, 11,000 is a lot, so I'm guessing not all of them are very high quality. This one has 0. Okay, so if this has 0, why is it showing up? Okay, so if this one has zero links, why is it showing up number 8, right? Oh, it's because the authority score is pretty high. It's a 19. So if we look at the rest of the authority scores, you see the only one that's bigger is Yelp. And this thing, it's not very accurate where it counts these as also search results, but they're just Q&A. People also asked, right? Or people also ask. So you can see that authority score 19. That's why it's there. This one has a pretty high authority score, but it's probably not optimized. That's why it's not showing up higher. If they would to optimize this, they could probably beat everybody on this list. All right, this one looks pretty good. I'm not sure why they're not showing up. Okay, so once we do that, then we know, okay, we get okay, how many good links do we need? How many guest posts do we need to purchase? Do we need, if it's a lot of links, maybe it's a press release where they got 400 or 500 links at a time. So that could happen as well. So we just see, okay, what links do we need? And obviously this is for every single page that you want to show up. So let's say we're just doing like $80. We're spending $80 on an article that we're buying. We're playing it safe. We're not gonna do anything black hat, anything iffy. We're just gonna buy guest posts. So let's say $80 for a decent guest post, right? So if, let's say, for this one we need 10. Let's just say we need 10. So we need 10 good guest posts. That's $800, right? So let's say this one, a lot of these have a ton. So let's do a little bit more. I think it would be more than that. So let's just do 30. So we do 30, we need 30 articles. You're talking about, close to $2,500 just for the backlinks. So that's where, this could get pretty expensive based on the high quality backlinks. Guest posts in this example. So we have this and we tell somebody, okay, it's gonna, 2,500 plus whatever, creating the page and whatever. If I need to design the page, the website, whatnot. I mean, it could be a lot just for one service, one city. So a lot of times with this kind of stuff, we'll break it down, let's say, into 6 months, right? So $400 over 6 months, it's a lot easier for clients to see, and they're like, okay, that's doable. So that would be part of why we also break it up into like 6-month campaign instead of just saying, oh, first month it's gonna be $15,000. It's just too much for people to wrap their head around that. Plus, once they start seeing that they're starting to get results, they're starting to get calls, and they're happier to pay you, and it makes it easier for them to pay you instead of just everything up front. Well, at least in my opinion, with working with some of these clients. So yeah, for example, this would be like what we would estimate this is going to cost us to rank. Obviously, this is a pretty, the city of San Jose has over 1 million people. So this one would be a pretty difficult place, and a ton of construction, remodeling, renovation companies that register in San Jose. So it would be pretty difficult. And that brings us to our last one, which was difficulty. Let's just put overall difficulty. I don't even know if I spelled it right, but that's what it comes down to. Overall difficulty. Once you get these metrics, then you kind of know how hard it's going to be. Also based on the category, you could say, like I mentioned, like the city, how big it is, how many other businesses are in the area. Let's say if we're in a town where it's 50,000 people and there's two businesses, obviously it's going to be fairly easy, and we're going to rank pretty fast, and it's going to be easier. But yeah, so that's just something that we keep in mind. Overall difficulty, if it's like a lawyer or a locksmith or a garage door, it's going to be just by being in the industry, you kind of have an idea of what categories are pretty difficult. So even if our backlinks, even if our optimization, page optimization tells us one thing, we know that that's going to be difficult. Also, yeah, it's a guesstimate. You get an idea of how we charge and why we charge the amounts that we do. Yeah, and it's all based on difficulty, service, location. Yep, that's pretty much it. I hope this helps.